What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost and for AEW Fyter Fest Night 1 for your July the 1st, 2020. We are going into a 2-night pay-per-view quality show for both nights. This was a hell of a show. If you remember Fyter Fest 2019, it was part of the Orlando Gaming Convention. I can't remember the name of it. Owned by Alex Bailey. They had a match with him and Michael Nakazawa on the pre-show. It was free for everybody on BR Live. It was an okay show. This first night topped that show completely. You had Cody versus Jake Hager, the tag team titles on the line against the Best Friends. You had Shida versus Penelope Ford in what was probably Penelope Ford's best match. And you started off with MJF versus Wardlow. I will say this now. It has already been confirmed. Jon Moxley versus Brian Cage will not be happening next week. Jon Moxley versus Brian Cage will be happening on July 15th. And it's going to be, they're taking the moniker of Fight for the Fallen, which was a show that was 2 weeks after Fyter Fest last year, is going to be the week after night 2. Now, we only have one match announced for Fight for the Fallen. That is Jon Moxley versus Brian Cage. And we'll get to that promo from Taz because holy shit, this guy's shooting and he's not shooting blanks. But we started off, Chris Jericho came out, decked out in a Canadian flag suit jacket for Canada Day. Happy Canada Day to all the Canadians out there. He says, "You ever had power for Excalibur, you dumb idiot," which was funny. By the way, I know Chris Jericho's a great in-ring talent. He's a great manager for the Young Inner Circle and everything and being the leader of that. Could this dude just, say, you know what? I've done everything in my career. I was the first champion of an upstart company that's got a huge future. I think it's in good hands. It's time for me to have a post-wrestling career. And this motherfucker needs to be on commentary permanently. He brought so much fire and energy and freshness to this commentary booth because, it's got JR, it's got Tony Schiavone. JR is not what he used to be. And it's just, I'm not saying JR is bad or anything. It's just, JR is definitely not what he used to be in professional wrestling. So having a fresh face and a fresh voice like Chris Jericho on Fyter Fest Night 1 was definitely great for the entire show. So MJF comes in the mic. He says he's getting tired of beating Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. It's like just becoming deja vu for him. He rips on the two guys and says he gave Jungle Boy the best match he'll ever have in his career. Says this match is happening because they're in a ratings war. And the only way you're going to get a W is with putting a guy on front like MJF. So there's the first shot at a ratings war for you after AEW got pounded last week, which was surprising to about everybody. AEW had a really good show last week, and the fact that they beat it handily it's only 1 week, so we can't sit there and go, oh well, AEW's on a downward spiral, they're gonna crash and burn. No, it was 1 week. It happens. AEW, here's the thing, AEW is like leagues ahead in the ratings race. NXT has won 3 weeks? We'll see what happens tonight, as they had the Great American Bash over there, and AEW had this show. This match was a banger. This match would have been, I wouldn't even say the opening match of a pay-per-view, even though I think you would want to open a regular pay-per-view with this match, because these 4 guys went out there. They showed you that they are good at what they do. Wardlow looked fantastic. Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus looked great. MJF is always a gem in the ring. Now, I believe I heard Dave Meltzer or Divine Alvarez say something about Luchasaurus, is that of all the people who has been hurt the most, as in like Mystique or Momentum, with the loss of the crowd, is Luchasaurus, and I kind of agree with that, because Luchasaurus, his movesets, just every move that he makes, everything that he does, gets a huge pop from the crowd, and with the crowd not being there because of all the crap we're going through, it kind of has hurt Luchasaurus in overall. It's just my opinion. But Jungle Boy with a big clothesline right out of the bat, out of the apron. Jungle Boy tries for a Hurricane Rana, and MJF hangs on, and Wardlow boots him in the face on the apron. Wardlow then picks him up, and throws him into the ring post. Back in the ring, MJF with an overhead release suplex does his, I wouldn't say his best Ric Flair strut. I'd say his best Jeff Jarrett strut. Trust me. Every time you see someone do a strut, everyone says, oh, that's the best Ric Flair, but no. MJF's strut is more on what Jeff Jarrett used to do than Ric Flair. Luchasaurus, taunts Luchasaurus, referee barking at MJF, so Wardlow chokes away at Jungle Boy. Wardlow tags in, explosive suplex as he stares at Jungle Boy's partner. MJF back in, he's like, hey, tag me in again. Jungle Boy with the suplex, but MJF gets the referee's attention as Jungle Boy gets a tag, but doesn't. I believe this was Rick Knox, who, by the way, is absolutely one of the worst referees they have. I hate when he has tag team matches, because every single match in the tag team division that Rick Knox performs, there's always one of those things where he gets distracted all the time. There's always shenanigans. You never see a clean, it's just way overdone when it comes to Rick Knox. Let's see. Back and forth tags as they work over MJF and them back and forth tags as they work over Jungle Boy. Luchasaurus finally gets in and goes. And I like the way it happened, because it's like Wardlow went to do something. Jungle Boy backed out and I think he went for a back suplex or something. Jungle Boy flipped over, ducked under Wardlow, jumped over MJF, and tagged in Luchasaurus. So that was a pretty fun way for them. That was a pretty good way for them to do that. Kicks and chops, and each guy flurry of kicks as he tags in. The Wardlow, MJF sent to the floor. Jungle Boy with 2 suicide dives. Then a big flip to MJF on the outside. Jungle Boy goes to jump into the ring. Wardlow pulls him down, tries to chokeslam him, but he flips out of it into the stands, passed over the barricade. And then he does an enziguri and takes down Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus with a step-up senton out to the floor onto Wardlow. Back in the ring, double team cutter on MJF. Wardlow breaks up the cover at 2 3/4. Wardlow gets back in the match. Hurricane Rana by Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy goes for one, gets blocked as Wardlow goes for the F10. Jungle Boy hits a Poison Rana instead, so he's like, you're not gonna let me do the Hurricane Rana? Fine, I'll just give you a Poison Rana and knock your ass out. MJF with an eye poke to Luchasaurus, stunned up on the apron for a moment. Referee turns around and all 4 guys are down. MJF had a point here where he got powerbombed by Luchasaurus. And instead of selling it immediately, he pops right back up, hits Luchasaurus in the face with a kick, and then he falls down. One of the biggest crutches in AEW right now is that nobody sells for shit. There was way too much no selling to get that momentum move. Like, you get powerbombed, you sell the fucking powerbomb. You don't have to pop right back up, hit somebody with a kick, and then fall over. We'll talk about Penelope Ford and Hikaru Shida when we get to that match, because Ford did a lot of that too, and it's something that AEW needs to get under control. Too much no selling in their matches. It's just getting ridiculous. I mean, when a big guy like Luchasaurus hits you with a fucking powerbomb, you do not get back up and immediately go, whoop, kick to the face, and then I'm going to fall over as if I just had that little bit of extra adrenaline in me. No, thank you. Let's see. Referee turns around, all 4 men are down. MJF and Jungle Boy both kip up. They're yelling at each other. They're screaming, hollering at each other. We can't see. And then the big men do the same thing. So they're battling, and off of the back of Luchasaurus and Wardlow, Jungle Boy hits an assisted Canadian Destroyer to MJF. Stump tries to get involved. Caught in middle by Wardlow. And this is a little bit after that. Jungle Boy is on the outside. Wardlow just picks this guy up. He has this guy up, Marco Stunt, which, I mean, he's probably 110 pounds soaking wet, but come on. And tosses him into Jungle Boy. Let's see here. Jungle Boy, MJF hits a low blow on Luchasaurus while this is all going on, but he kicks out MJF is not pleased about that. Wardlow with a big senton gets a 2 count. MJF tries for the punch. Luchasaurus with the dynamite diamond ring. With Wardlow holding him. Luchasaurus gets out of the way. MJF stops and says, "Can't you do anything right?" So while he's chastising Wardlow, and Wardlow's like, just got his look of, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean," I'm like, what the fuck? And Luchasaurus kicks MJF in the back. The ring goes forward, hitting Wardlow. MJF's sent to the floor. Jungle Boy with the swinging DDT on Wardlow. Chokeslam by Luchasaurus. Wardlow sits up like the Undertaker. Gets kicked in the face. Standing moonsault. 1, 2, 3. And the Jurassic Express win the match. In my opinion, if the team of MJF and Wardlow were going to lose this match, this was the right outcome. MJF is to not be pinned or submitted until it's the right time. Maybe it's Jungle Boy at All Out. Maybe at whatever if they're going to do Full Gear again later this year. Whatever they are going to do for those two, MJF does not get pinned, does not get submitted in some tag team match because AEW wants to do that. Just no. But this was a good win for Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. They needed some momentum. They've been kind of lacking lately. Then we go to ringside and we see Lance Archer trying to yank Joey Janela and fuck him up because they have a match next week at Fyter Fest Part 2. Of course, the Concrete Rose decides to stop that and pull him away. Jake Roberts is just laughing because he finds this shit hilarious. And we will see what happens with them next week. Then we go to commercial, we come back and we go, next week after Fyter Fest Night 2, we're going to have, for the first time ever. And you're like, what is this? What are they talking about? And then it flashes on puppies. Dogs. Little dogs. Puppies. Playing in a wrestling ring with the AEW logo on it. It is going to be the Puppy Battle Royal. Next Wednesday at 10. What in the little fuck? I know we get Puppy Bowl every year during the Super Bowl because, people think, oh, that's cute, yada, yada, yada. But Puppy Battle Royal? Really? Hikaru Shida vs. Penelope Ford with Kip Sabian for the AEW Women's World Championship. Some shoving goes on between Shida and Kip Sabian. Kip Sabian gets ejected on his way out as he's arguing with the referee. He says, "You know what? Fine. You want me to leave? I'm taking her kendo stick." Of course, he would get involved with this match later on. Some shoving, hold on. Shida drops forward, goes for a Falcon Arrow. She, dropped her immediately. Hit her, looked like she was going to end this early, but Penelope Ford gets out of the Falcon Arrow before anything can happen there. Shida with a shot to the face. Ford heads out of the floor for a break, but Shida follows with a baseball kick. Ford tosses the champ into the apron and then into the barricade. Shida recovers and hits a big knee and gets the match back in the ring. Ford gets control of the match, slamming Shida's head into the turnbuckle. Handspring, back elbow, big boot, German suplex with the bridge for a 2. Shida recovers and lands some strikes, tries for a suplex, counter into a reverse suplex, counter 2. Shida with a kick and forwards an even bigger pump kick, looks for a handspring stunner. Shida blocks it into a sleeper, and she just takes her and she pulls her up and starts ragdolling her back and forth with this sleeper. She then puts her over her knee and starts stretching her. Then gets for another cover, 1, 2, kick out. Shida hits the Falcon Arrow, but Ford rolls her up immediately. She hits the Falcon Arrow, goes to pull her Ford's legs back for the pin, and Ford just rolls her up, and I'm like, that really wasn't earned in this match. It's just, one of my biggest problems with Penelope Ford is that she does no-sell a couple moves here and there. It's like, you haven't earned the right to be able to sit there and no-sell a Falcon Arrow. It's just... Now, Shida goes up top for a drop kick. She misses as Ford Matrix dodges out of the way. Then hits the stunner. Cover gets a 2. Ford can't believe it. She goes out of the ring and gets the title. Referee follows and tells her she should stop. Sabian runs back in, tries to hit Shida with the kendo stick. She ducks, kicks him in the face, or smacks him in the face. The kendo stick goes flying. She grabs it and whacks him in the head uber hard. Forward back in with the handspring stunner, which this literally made... I don't know who thought this was a good idea. But Shida wasn't attacked. She wasn't knocked out, like not loopy or anything. She takes out Kip Sabian. Then Ford comes back in, and Shida just sits there and waits as if she's been dropped loopy for this springboard stunner. Why would you have Hikaru Shida, your women's champion, look so stupid? Moonsault pulls empty. Shida with a running knee to the back of the head, then the front to the head. Falcon Arrow lands cover 1-2. Kick out. Oh shit. And this is the whole meme. Oh, nobody kicks out the Falcon Arrow. Everybody kicks out of the Falcon Arrow. Come on. Shida hits a huge running knee to the face cover, and that will do it. Hikaru Shida is your winner. It was a pretty good match. Shida did everything she could to make Penelope Ford look good. Penelope Ford isn't quite there yet to be like one of those people who can hold her own against somebody like Shida. Shida is one hell of a ring general. She can do anything to make anybody look good. She should be holding that title to at least All Out or Full Gear, whatever they do in October, November, December. But yeah, Penelope Ford looked good. Shida helped her look good. And in the end, Shida is still your champion. Where do they go from here? Who's going to be the next challenger for Hikaru Shida? I could not tell you. Honestly, the AEW women's roster, you don't really have anybody else right now besides probably Nyla Rose. But do we really want another Nyla Rose match with Hikaru Shida? I don't think so. But we had to All Out to figure out what's going on there. And we'll go from there. Cody versus Arn Anderson versus Jake Hader with his wife Catalina. A TNT Championship match. This match is happening because a couple weeks ago, after Mark Quinn lost to Cody, Hager came out and he wanted a match. We figured it was going to be the next week, but no. It is going to be tonight. Hager's wife is ringside. Hager is showing his strength early on, shoving Cody to the mat. Cody continues to work over chopped in the corner, followed by some shots to the midsection. Cody able to get the pin attempt for a 1 count. Hager tries for an ankle lock. Cody near the ropes ends up reversing it into one of his own. Neither one was able to cinch it in whatsoever. Anderson gets the attention of Hager for a moment. Cody charges at him, but eats a back elbow. Hager goes down to the floor. Cody steps up and does a splash back in, and then Cody is down. Hager then turns his attention to Arn Anderson, grabs a hold of him, puts his hands around his throat, pushes him back into the stage. Him and Cody, and then Cody comes over, fights him off of Arn, and they get back into the ring. Cody with a drop toe hold and tries to work on the leg. Cody then grabs the figure 4 locked in, but Hager to the ropes as he does have a nice large reach. Out to the floor, Hager ends up taking on Anderson and suplexes Cody hard to the ground. That looked horrible. I don't know if something was wrong or if it was a bad bump or something, but god damn, that suplex from Hager, like Cody from Hager, looked horrible. Let's see. Hager really beating up on the champion. They end up on the floor again. Hager looks to send Cody into the ring post, and Arn is standing in the way. Hager stares at him. Cody then tosses Hager into the ring post, back in the ring. Hager with a sleeper. Cody reverses with a jawbreaker to the stop. Cody with a springboard cutter. Uppercut by Cody. Spinning power slam, cover 2. Hager puts Cody down with a Vader bomb for a 2 count. Commentating notes, time is beginning to tick down in the match. It was only a 20-minute time limit, which makes no sense because it is a title match. Why is it only getting 20? No, somebody answer that for me because I don't know. Cody with his feet lands a reverse DDT. Pin 2. Cody heads to the top. Hager falls and hits an overhead throw. Looked fucking brutal. Cover 2. Hager with an ankle lock. Cody gets to the ropes though. Hager distracts the referee. Catalina then with a bitch slap to the face. Arn has the ref's attention now. Dustin runs down and punches Hager. Hager is able to still get the standing arms triangle locked in. Cody then is able to float over, get Hager's shoulders down. 1, 2, 3. Cody wins by fluke. I know Cody wants to do this whole open challenge thing and everything, but this is his 5th title defense. Is it only going to be one of those things where it's like every 5 title defenses he gets to go against somebody and get a fluke win? Because, believe it or not, that was a fluke. Big time. Hager thought he won and extremely annoyed when he finds out otherwise, and then he argues with the ref. The ref says, no, man, you didn't win, or something. Hager doesn't want to hear this, punches the referee's lights out, and that was that. I think that Hager is going away for a while. Then we get a Darby Allin promo. He finds out that he's still not medically cleared, says, you think I'm going to sit on my ass at home? And we see a bunch of skateboard stunts of him and his friends. Then the music plays for Best Friends, and I'm like, wait a minute. This is supposed to be the main event. What is this? What are they doing with this? And it was only Orange Cassidy who came out and came out with a chair to sit down at commentary for his boys going up against Jericho's boys. This pisses Jericho off. He just is pissed. He's irate. He doesn't know why this guy is out here. And then, I don't know what he does, but he just calms down. He just calms down. Of course, Orange Cassidy went out there for one reason and one reason only. And that was to piss off Chris Jericho. Because next week, it's Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy at Fyter Fest night number 2. But Jericho, he goes out there. He's still out there. He's pissed off. He's trying to... And then just tries to turn and is like, you know what? I'm calm. I have a job to do tonight. I'll kick his ass next week. So, Private Party will take on, with Matt Hardy takes on Santana and Ortiz of the Inner Circle. This was the second time these two teams have wrestled against each other in AEW. The first time was the Matt Travis Memorial match they did. I think, was it back in January or was it late last year? That match was okay, but I can understand why that match wasn't they weren't at the top of their game in that match, for the simple fact is they were wrestling in memory of a fallen comrade from House of Glory. Tonight, all business. Now, Santana gets in there with Isaiah Cassidy. And I didn't get what he said. I didn't hear what he said for a minute, but then he's like, you know what? I'm pretty much, he said something pretty much to the effect of, you know what? We boys, we came up together. You know what? I'm going to give you one shot. But this one shot, you better make it good. Cassidy sits there, he thinks about it, and then slaps Santana, and Santana just puts his head down and like, man, that was a disappointing slap. Like, he had this look on his, you can just tell when the slap happened, and then he just drops his head like, boy, I thought I taught you better than that. Now, Santana goes after him, and Cassidy uses agility and boots Santana. Ortiz tries to get involved, and Quinn drop kicks him. Cassidy then leaps off Quinn's back, and a huge splash down on both guys. Things move back into the match. Private Party gets Santana down, covered 2. Santana with a powerbomb, Ortiz with a slingshot DDT on Cassidy, Ortiz with an octopus stretch on Cassidy, who gets worked over throughout the break. Cassidy still sitting peacefully at ringside. Cassidy with a flurry of, Orange Cassidy. You know, it's funny because you have Cassidy with a C and Cassidy with a K. So when I'm trying to do a match with Isaiah Cassidy while Orange Cassidy's at ringside, it's just like, good fucking grief, man. Good grief. Ortiz avoids Cassidy. Cassidy with a flurry of starts on Santana, and then a cutter over the top rope onto Ortiz. Cassidy avoids Santana and hits a spinning splash down on both opponents. Santana with a big cutter on Cassidy. Ortiz has Quinn up on the second rope. Liger bomb. Santana sends Quinn into the turnbuckle, then a leaping cannonball on Quinn. Double suplex over cover. Cassidy jumps in to break it up. Santana tosses Cassidy out to the floor and into the barricade. Santana brings out the loaded sock. Matt Hardy takes the loaded sock away from Santana And Ortiz comes over and is like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, of course, he would be pissed off about that. Santana, they confront him, but Quinn nearly gets the roll up on Santana. Santana with a couple kicks to the face. They look for the street sweeper, but Quinn pulls at the headband of Santana and drops down over his eyes. So Ortiz is dispatched. Private Party lands the gin and juice on Santana. 1, 2, 3. But as you see this happening, the 3 comes down. Ortiz gets back in, goes to dive, but it's like one of those. If you rewind it back, it's one of those moments you would have in a movie or a TV show where the guy's trying to make the save in slow motion and he just isn't quick enough. The 3 hits, to like a second and a half before Ortiz tries to break up the pin. So Private Party end up getting the win. So next week, because the world title is going to be postponed because of COVID-19. Next week, it'll be the winner of the main event versus Private Party for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Will Private Party become the next Tag Team Champions? Or will the winner of tonight's match continue to be champions coming out of Fyter Fest? I know it's a nice little makeup for what happened because, who knows, like COVID was going to happen eventually. AEW does the best they can do, just like they have been since they've been able to test, which I think they started testing when they came back to Daily's Place last month. So, yeah, not last month, but actually the beginning of May. When they came back in May. Yeah, AEW, good stuff. So Jericho finally gets pissed off. He's like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. I need to get this guy out of here. Orange Cassidy gets up. He's like, you want to go? You want to go? Jericho comes over. He's going to do something. Joe Alonzo and some other people come over and hold Chris Jericho back. Pineapple Pete gets just slightly pushed, holding, trying to hold Cassidy back, even though Orange Cassidy's not doing anything. He even grabs the back of Cassidy's shirt and just lightly, playfully grabs it as if he's trying to hold him back. Jericho gets Jericho away. He yells at Cassidy, "You're gonna get it next week." Cassidy just rolls away, and that is it for Chris Jericho, as he will leave the announce table pissed off in a huff after being embarrassed by Orange Cassidy. Dasha Gonzalez is backstage with Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page about tonight's match. Page says he's feeling great. Says the best friends are great. He says people have been saying they deserve a title shot, and they're right. Which honestly they do. Out of all the tag teams, all the big tag teams in the tag team division, during the entire April tapings and tapings during the TNT title tournament, going up to Double or Nothing, the best friends were always there. They had this match pretty much is a thank you for being there when no one else was able to. So, but once they're in the ring, he says deserving just dries up. Omega says they will retain tonight because they're good. It's the same. We have beaten everybody in this tag team division that you have put in front of us, and tonight's going to be no different. And we're going to end the show with a good night and goodbye, a smooch, bang. His entire shtick. Which, no, we did not get that, even though I'll talk about that. So we do run down next week's matches. Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy, FTR, and the Young Bucks versus The Butcher, The Blade, Phoenix, and Pentagon. Can't wait to see Phoenix and Pentagon back in wrestling. It's been far too long. Lance Archer versus Joey Janela, SCU versus The Dark Order, and Colt Cabana. Nyla Rose in action, and she has a huge surprise. What that is going to be, I don't know. And Private Party takes on the winner of the World Title match, this World Tag Team Title match. Fight for the Fallen will be in 2 weeks live for the AEW World Champion Jon Moxley will take on Brian Cage. With Taz, the match was scheduled for next week, of course, as I stated earlier, because AEW and Jon Moxley want to take the biggest precautions as they can. They decided to push it back a week because Fight for the Fallen, I mean not Fight for the Fallen, but Fyter Fest Night 2 is being taped tomorrow. If they were actually going to be live next week for Fyter Fest Night 2, Moxley would probably still be there, but the fact that they're going to be doing the entire second night tomorrow, that is why this is being postponed. It gives them another 2 weeks before they have to do all of this. Taz comes out with Brian Cage, who, by the way, Brian Cage wearing a t-shirt. Jonah says, if I was Brian Cage, I wouldn't wear a t-shirt ever. I agree. Why would you want to hide that physique? Why would you want to hide that? That is a physique, and I guarantee you, the moment Brian Cage stepped foot in that ring at Double or Nothing, and Vince McMahon saw that or was notified of that, he probably was throwing furniture, because somebody like Brian Cage is somebody that Vince McMahon would have loved to have under the WWE umbrella, and that guy would, and then Brian Cage would have been pushed to the moon and been the guy to probably end Brock Lesnar for WWE, because the guy is a beast. Anyway, Taz says he and Cage are cool about the delay, you know. We're good. We're not mad. Usually people with this thing would get mad, but we're not mad. We're fine, because we all know what's going to happen anyway. Taz says he spoke with Tony Khan and found that Moxley is concerned for the health of everyone in AEW. But that's kind of weird, because not only have you been tested once, but twice. Both have come back negative. And if you would have came here for next week, you would have been tested again, because we don't run a sloppy shop. Oh, man. If you're going to burn WWE, if you're going to take a shot at WWE, that's the shot. That is the shot. I'm not all for this entire let's throw petty barbs at each other, but the way WWE's been handling the COVID-19 stuff, and the fact that they're in a very, very tight, closed place when it comes to Raw and SmackDown and NXT, calling a sloppy shot, I think, is being very generous. Honestly, I think Taz was very generous. I don't know if there was a word. I would say shit show, but that's just me, and I don't think you can actually say shit show on TV. Sloppy shot works. He says Moxley just has a case of the chicken shits, and on July 15th, Brian Cage will be your AEW heavyweight champion. God, I love Taz in this role. I remember back when Ace and Nates were in TNA, they added Taz as a mouthpiece, even though they really didn't need to. Having him be like pretty much the Paul Heyman to Brian Cage is like being to Brian Cage as Brock Lesnar. Yeah, I can see them doing this for a while, and it's good for Brian Cage. I really haven't heard Brian Cage talk, so I wouldn't know how he actually sounds on his own. But if they want to just say, you know what, Taz doing commentary for Dark, we want to give this guy something else to do instead of just, you know, coming in, working, especially if we ever get back to normal, working an hour of TV and that's about it. This is great. This is absolutely great. Main event time, AEW World Tag Team Championship match, Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus the Best Friends. The Best Friends come to the arena in Trent's mom, the mom of Trent's van. They are being Ubered to the arena by Trent's mom. What in the little fuck was this? This is just wow. What the hell? I don't even know what to say about that. And then before Trent's like, hey Trent, Mommy needs a kiss, and he lets her give her a kiss, and they give him a kiss, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? That was just no. No. Omega and Taylor gets things going for both trading a bunch of moves, end up with a stalemate, back and forth tags as champions, work over Trent. FTR makes an appearance with a cooler and 2 lawn chairs as they go sit by commentary to observe this match, because they are students of the game. They want to observe the competition. They want to eventually be the AEW Tag Team Champions and bring more prestige to those tag team titles. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you just go out there and watch what you will hopefully be a future opponent for you for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Trent getting beat up by the champs. Taylor tags in, sending Omega to the floor, and then hits a big flip down to both opponents. And Trent is hit with the hit. Trent then does a overhead suplex, sending Omega into Page on the outside. Back of the ring, Page fights off both opponents. Follow-away slam on Trent. Kip up, splash down on Taylor on the floor. He runs back to the ring and lands a big lariat on Trent. Omega in the top rope. Big missile dropkick, Fisherman Buster on Trent, cover 2. Trent with a running knee on Omega, then tags in Taylor. Chuck hits a spike power driver cover. Page breaks it up. Taylor lands some knees, but Omega hits a snapdragon suplex. Trent tags himself in and eats the same move. Taylor then takes another one, both guys slumping in the corner. Page tags in and hits a assisted German suplex. Pop-up powerbomb on Trent. Omega with a knee to the back of the head, cover 2. Last call attempt, Trent dodges. Omega pulled out of the ring. Taylor and Trent hit strong zero. It looks like we could have new tag team champions, but no. Omega breaks it up. Omega with the V trigger tries to the one-winged angel, but no. Taylor gets out and hits a big power driver. Omega rolls into the floor and best friends with the hug, which I don't remember which one said it, but it's like, I was like, giving the people what they want. The best friends are giving the people what they want. And I think it was Jericho who said, they want new tag team champions, not hugs. Yeah, I know the whole hug thing is fine, and it's cool and all for them to do. But you're in a World Tag Team title match. Do the hugging after you win the tag team titles, not during the match. Taylor takes the big boot from Page as he shoves Chuck out of the way. Page with the rolling elbow on the Trent. Then another elbow. Page tries for the roll up, but Trent sits down on Page for a 2 count. Page hits the dead eye. Cover 2 kick out. Gets out of the ring. Cuts on the apron. Buckshot lariat as he takes off the elbow pad. 1, 2, 3. Hangman Page and Kenny Omega are your winners. They retain predictably, and they move on to take on Private Party next week. After the match, FTR walks in on the ring with some beers. Of course, Hangman Adam Page is going to take that. Hey, you're giving me a beer? Fuck yeah, I'll take that. They give one to Kenny Omega. Everybody toasts. And I don't think Kenny Omega actually is a drinker because he takes the beer and just empties it out in front of FTR. They are not happy campers. The Young Bucks have to come out to settle things down or things are going to get a lot worse. And that is how the show goes off the air with all 6 men arguing over everything. So that is night 1 of AEW's Fyter Fest. With the updated card, we have, of course, Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. This one can go either way. I honestly think that if Orange Cassidy wins, Jericho might go completely ballistic, and maybe the Inner Circle we could see the end of the Inner Circle. I think the whole thing with Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara before Sammy Guevara got suspended, we don't even know if he's still a part of the Inner Circle. When he comes back, are they going to make him the Inner Circle, still be a part of it if it's still there? I think that was going to build to the end of the Inner Circle, and that's not happening now because, of course, everything that happened. Which, again, kids, be careful what you say on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on a fucking podcast, on anything. If it's damning, if it's damning like that, it can come back to haunt you when somebody who doesn't like you wants to ruin your career. Just saying. FTR and the Young Bucks versus the Butcher and the Blade, plus Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. I think FTR and Young Bucks are going to win that. There's no reason they shouldn't, with the Butcher and the Blade taking the pinfall. Lance Archer is going to destroy Joey Janela. Rest in peace, Joey. SCU versus the Dark Order, Brody Lee Grayson and Colt Cabana. I think it's going to be SCU. I could be wrong. I mean, it could be Kazarian Daniels who takes the pinfall. Should be a good one. Nyla Rose in action. I don't know what her big surprise is, who she's going to be facing, but obviously she's going to win. That's why that's just what they're going to do. And then Private Party takes on the winner and then takes on the tag team champions of Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page. Now, I say that Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, I don't know if you would have them lose the titles like that. I don't know. It's a match on a week's notice because of what's happening with Moxley. Moxley not coming in. I don't know. I think we'll have to wait and see, but I believe that we could see new tag team champions. I mean, they have Matt Hardy in the corner. He's helping them train. He's getting them their mindset right and everything. I could see Matt Hardy being like the new Michael Hayes who helps these guys achieve big time. And then, eventually, when they get to that big time and they achieve big, Private Party turns heel and beats up Matt Hardy. And they become the next heel. So yeah, I can totally see Private Party winning the tag team titles. Maybe we could... Because we all knew before all this COVID stuff happened that this was going to lead to Adam Hangman Page probably turning heel on Kenny Omega, probably at Double or Nothing. And it was going to be from Double or Nothing to All Out, where these two were going to sit there and battle each other, with the culmination being an All Out in a big match. That's not happening for us. So, yeah. It should be interesting next week. Next week seems like it's going to be a great show as well. Tonight was a really good show, mini pay-per-view. I want them to do something like this in August. I was hoping Fight for the Fallen would have been left for August, but because the Jon Moxley thing, they didn't want to push that back to August, and so now we're getting that in 2 weeks. But AEW, that is your AEW on AEW Fyter Fest Night 1 review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. Find me on Instagram at The France Club. And I will see you guys later on Friday night for SmackDown. Until then, my name is The France, and you guys have a good one.